Alright, welcome back to Norwich Media. Today I'm going to be divulging a little bit from my main storyline quest playthrough. I'm going to head over to Old Gridania and go ahead and do the seasonal Valentine's Day event quest. I know that probably already all of you have it done. However, it's something that I have yet to do, and I'll go through and make a small guide. So without further ado, let's jump into the Valentine's Day quest. Alright, so the quest, it begins in, you can find it in Old Gridania, and I'll be headed there right about now. Let's try. Let's try New Gridania. It's across from the, it's like at the theater. Alright. It's actually been a pretty long time since I've been here. There it is. Where the heart is. At least I think that's what it is. No, I don't know. No, I don't think it's this one. We'll find it, though. Because I think it's a level 15 requirement in order to do the quest. No. Completely wrong way. I'm not surprised. I guess I could have just aethered over there. Oh, I'm going the complete wrong way. No, those aren't right. And that's just to essentially bind you there. Okay. I can't even remember the last time that I was here. Probably whenever you rescue Ishtola from the life stream. That's pretty unforgettable, though. Anyway. Oh, here we go. Got it. Alright, so Lisette de Valentione. No love lost. Lisette de Valentione has her mitts full this Valentine's Day. 'Tis the season of ardor and affection, and romance is thick upon the air. I, Lisette of House Valentione, entreat you, dearest one, to breathe deep and take love's richness, its cloyness, rosy radiance, into your bosom. Alas, every rose has its thorns, and even this fairest of seasons is not without its trials. Indeed, trouble is afoot, and it threatens the hearts of all in this realm. A fellow of ours, a Moogle, well versed in the myriad matters of the heart, has found himself in quite the quagmire. The sweet thing of which we speak goes by the name of Koopa Koop, and is an emissary of pen passions and all such billets do. Valentione'sDay is a joyous occasion, but not always so for those who acquit themselves as post-Moogles of the realm. Koopka Koop has his poor paws full delivering heartwarming missives far and wide, hither and thither. Though he would never admit it, I fear he's at wit's end. But you, benevolent adventurer that you are, can provide precisely what her sweet herald requires. Oh so, desperately, pray. Lend Koopa Koop your talents and retrieve him from the edge whereupon his wits now teeter so precariously. A working adventure is a happy adventure. Marvelous. You are a hero through and through. Koopka Koop will be so relieved. I shall fetch him at once. Ah, why, yours is a face I know well. No introduction necessary, friends, for so renowned are you that I feel as if I have known you all my life. My post-Moogle compatriots speak of your daring do almost nightly, Kupo. How they will bristle into puffballs when I tell them we are acquainted. Now then, I hear from Astrid that you would help me in my hour of need, for which I am most grateful. However, it is not the work itself that vexes me, but rather a colleague of mine, a clueless courier, newly inducted into our vocation. Every Valentine's Day, we emissaries are overtaxed, and this season has proven no exception. I had hoped to nip this issue in the bud by petitioning the deputy post-Moogle for a helping paw or two. He obliged, but he sent someone altogether worthless, an undisciplined tyro. To make matters worse, the daft thing is painfully ignorant in the ways of the heart. You should hear the way he speaks to the clientele. What an ugly gift. Love must be blind and such nonsense. Left to her own devices, I fear she will ruin Valentione'sDay. Kupo. Give the girl the axe, you cry. The impulses are very much with me, I assure you, but I can't rightly turn away the very assistance for which I begged. I would come across as the most wretched ingrate to ever have wings, yet I haven't the time to train her, let alone the patience. Fret not, our harried herald. You are right to have sought our help, for I have come upon the cleverest of solutions to your predicament. We shall enlist the help of our doughty adventurer and House Valentione's very own Astrid to accompany said callous courier. You cannot be surprised at my suggestion. 'Tis a most natural fit. Alaric, so skilled in so many subjects, will teach your assistants the delicate art of the post, while Astrid shall instruct the Moogle in the ways of ardor and adoration. There, a splendid plan if I do say so myself. Are you both sure you are up to the task? It isn't too great a bother. What a seasonable relief indeed. Kubo, I shall bring her to you at once, for there is not a moment to lose. May I introduce you to my fledgling post-Moogle charge, Pukti Pico, and her loyal chocobo. Oh dear, this is rather awkward. I confess your friend's name has slipped my mind, Kupo. Salutations, one and all. As for my chocobo, his name can't have slipped your mind because he hasn't one. I refer to him simply as my partner, dear, or when I'm feeling particularly silly, Bird. Many acquaintances of mine have attempted to provide him a name or two, but none of them ever stuck. Or shall I say, I always forget them. In any case, you may call him whatever you like. It makes no difference, least of all to him. Yes, well, be that as it may, I have tasked Puckty Pico with 3 deliveries, all of which I would ask you to join her on. These 2 are to accompany me? Very well. Who am I to turn away whoever you are? Our first step is the Carpenter's Guild. Bird and I shall await you there. Alright, I'm just gonna spend the 100 gil and teleport. Alright. So here we are at the Carpenter's Guild. Oh, the recipient is out on an errand or some such. A pity. As for the parcel, well, since no one is available to take it, I say we just leave it at any old place. There are other assignments to be getting on with, after all. I say, now hold there a moment. I am no post-moogle, granted, but merely abandoning a package like this before a door seems a touch disrespectful, does it not? What we have here is a gift, an item crafted with love and care. It deserves to be treated as such. Who is this from, exactly? A young woman, if memory serves, daughter to the man meant to receive this. Oh yes, and there was something about her training at the Culinarians Guild, I think. My memory is hazy. We ought to make the delivery in person. You make an interesting point. The man is out on an errand, yes, and since he is with the Carpenter's Guild, it stands to reason he is out collecting lumber, and from the Botanist's Guild, like as not. We shall start out search there, for a Valentine's Day gift must be delivered straight into the recipient's hand. Alright, headed to the Botanist's Guild. A delivery for you, sir. You weren't at the guild when we came calling, so we took the liberty of tracking you down. Alright, give it here then. Oh, what's all this? Valentine's Day. Chocolate? Now, this is a surprise. My daughter's an apprentice in the Culinarians Guild, you see. I heard she'd been selected to make the chocolates for the festivities this year, but I certainly didn't expect to receive any myself. And how wonderful that you did. It is not every day one's daughter is accorded the honor of crafting such a beloved confectionery. She must be quite the culinarian. That she is. My pride and joy, that girl. What a pleasant surprise this package was. Certainly made my day. I can't thank you enough for bringing it all the way out to me like you have. I'll never forget this kindness. Goodness, seems like a bit of an overreaction to being handed some food, doesn't it? That's what savvy post-moogles call customer satisfaction, Kupo. Agreed. There is a lesson to be learned here. Pukti, joy is not meant to be kept to oneself. It is a feeling that yearns to be shared, and we played a part in bringing him happiness, so it is little wonder that he wished to share his felicity with us. So, joy is meant to be shared. Well, when you put it that way, I suppose that's not so foreign of a concept. When something makes me smile or laugh, I do tend to talk to my companion's ear off about it, and I'm often made the happier for it. But enough about that. Time is wasting. Best be off on our next delivery. The recipient awaits at the Whistling Miller, by the looks of it. Fat cat. Alright, here we are. Pardon me, but I have a delivery for you, ma'am. For me? Oh, it's from one of my dearest companions, and look what they've sent. Pink seashells. Are they not extraordinary? Look at their vibrancy. Ah, and a card. Happy Valentine's Day. How delightful. Shells? Empty ones? You can't even eat those. At least the other fellow received chocolate. But Puckety, this is abominably rude. You must forgive our friend here. She is not accustomed to deliveries such as these. There's nothing to forgive, I assure you. I could hardly be upset after receiving a gift like this, and from a loved one I've not seen in quite some time. My friend, you see, is an adventurer in their own right. They enjoy being cryptic, though, and never outright tell me where they have been. Rather, they make me guess by dropping hints in the form of curiosities such as these. What a blessing this parcel is. I was only just wondering how they were faring and where their journey had brought them. Thank you, Miss Postmoogle. You have brightened my day. Love is a mystery indeed, and a funny one at that. It is my pleasure to tell you, Pukti, that love is a many-splendored thing, and we each have our own unique way of expressing it. The friendship between that girl and her adventurer companion is a perfect example. That gift, which appeared mere frippery to you, was a treasure in her eyes. It is important for adventurers to check in with their loved ones. It is oft said that no news is good news, but I very much doubt that to be the case for those in your line of work. So you mean to say, this was her friend's way of telling that young woman that all is well? Their way of assuaging any worries she might be harboring about their safety? How fascinating. To be sure, were I to be separated from my bird here by expansive seas or vast mountain ranges, I'd like to hear from him from time to time, perhaps not every day. That would be irksome, but to know that he's in good health would be not altogether disagreeable, I suppose. Anywho, no sense in losing ourselves in thought, not when a parcel sits burning a hole in my satchel, Kupo. Our next delivery takes us to Apakula Falls. Let's away. Greetings, sir. I have for you here a parcel from one of Ulda's preeminent art dealers, Kupo. At last, her earrings, they've arrived. Goodness gracious, how stunning they are. This craftsmanship, this meticulous attention to detail. I couldn't have hoped for a better present for my wife. She'll be over the moon to receive them. Her birthday is coming up, you see, and I wanted to ensure her special day is just that. I've even given Coop's palm a vigorous pat. I hear tell that one touch is enough to bring a couple happiness for all their years to come. Let us hope so. You did well to bring these all the way out here without a scratch on them, you know. I'd begun to worry that by the time I had received them, the poor things would be nothing more than scuffed, dented rocks. You've got a bright future ahead of you in the postal service, friend. Thank you. Now this is odd. There's a flutter in my chest, a tickle in my stomach, Kupo. Have I taken ill, or do compliments and words of gratitude always elicit this sort of response? Trust me when I say you are not ill, Puckty. That flutter you feel, those ticklish sensations you describe, that is fondness, a form of love, indeed, and it was made manifest by that man's appreciation for what you have provided. Oh, so this love nonsense, why, it isn't nonsense at all, it is. It's quite wonderful, actually. I liken it too. That feeling when my bird and I settled down for an afternoon nap in the 12's wood, when I tuck myself under his wing and we are warmed by the sunlight breaking through the trees. Perhaps you haven't mastered the concept entirely, but I do believe we are making strides in the right direction. You certainly seem more attuned to the ways of the heart than when we first made your acquaintance. At any rate, now that all three parcels have reached the right hands, let us return to Mikedo's amphitheater. No doubt, Coop is anxious to know how Puckty fared. Here they are, our agents of affection, our heralds of the heart, returned at last, and not before time. Kupo, tell me, how went your deliveries? Splendid, each and every one. The recipients were all thrilled to receive their parcels, and I'm pleased to say that Puckty Pico learned something along the way. Yes, I do believe I did. Love is, well, it's quite a bit more complicated than I first imagined it to be. There are hidden depths to it, ones I didn't see before. I may not be an expert on the subject yet, but I would like to think my ignorance is not quite as dire as it once was. You are making progress, certainly. I'm glad of it. And just so long as you did not offend anyone, I could not ask for more. Anywho, I am indebted to you, Astrid, Alaric. You have spared at least 3 citizens of the realm from potential cruelty, however unintended it may have been. No, I am being too harsh, Puckty. You have always shown a true, concerted effort to understand the labyrinth complexities of the heart, and as a reward, I am inclined to set you to another task. For in truth, your work is not yet finished. Much more is there to be done this Valentine's Day, Kupo. When you've the time, speak with me again, and I shall tell you all about it. Post-Moogle Barding. Love's labors. Coop has a matter of the heart on his mind. There you are, and not a moment too soon. Your unwavering devotion to the ways of ardor and affection, love and romance, courtship and intimacy is both commendable and deeply appreciated. So, to the task of which I spoke, it involves a woman by the name of Alios, who only just posted a parcel with no small amount of urgency. However, she then returned, begging us to call off its delivery, a highly unusual request in her eyes, twin pools of sorrow, Kupo. She fled straightway, ere I could not even get my bearings, let alone ask what troubles her so. Will you help me seek her out? You are too kind. Now, as for this young woman, she is an Elsian. of great beauty, and thus should not be an easy one to overlook. Last I saw of her, she had just made a sharp left at the fork in the road, unless my eyes deceive me. To the left, you say. That way lies to the Great Loam Growery, if I'm not mistaken. I will accompany you there. Coop. Alric, Putti Pico. You two will look near Nofisia's altar. Should you come upon her before we do, come find us at the growery. Who, me? Yes, I am Alos. Why do you ask? Cup. Wants to see me, you say? But whatever for? He's beside himself with worry, Kupo. He told us you turned your tail and darted off looking dreadfully stricken, downright morose. You can understand this concern, surely. I see. I owe him an apology for worrying him as I have, and an explanation for my frantic flight as well. Kupka's still at Miketo's amphitheater, correct? I'll go to him at once. Actually, never mind. She's already gone. I suppose I shall go and fetch him then, shall I? Meet us at the amphitheater, Alec, and do hurry. We wouldn't want her dashing off again. First, let me start by saying how grateful I am that you would think to come and check on me. The truth of the matter is, I received an offering of marriage I meant to accept, which is why I came to you initially, Kupka, to see that my reply would be delivered safely. However, as I was writing to tell him yes, I found myself hesitating more than I ought to have been. I began to worry. Well, I began to wonder if I was making a terrible decision, not only for me, but for him as well. The man who seeks my hand is of Ishgardian nobility and goes by the name of Ezumel. At the moment, he is well. He is quite ill, and is seeking treatment here in Gridania. Do not misunderstand me. I was overjoyed to hear his devotion. A life spent with him would be a wonderful thing, but I am no noble. I am of the most common stock, no more special than a weed underfoot. I wasn't raised with the aristocratic manners future wife of his requires. Who am I to marry into nobility? I must destroy my previous missive and pen a new letter, one telling him I can't go through with it, but that one I'll hand deliver. I won't have an emissary of love delivering such ill tidings. Now, I don't pretend to be an expert in the ways of the heart, but isn't love the desire to be with someone forever and on? The desire for a trusted partner in the world? Someone with whom you can share your joys and your woes? If you care for him, be with him. Wouldn't it upset you to do anything but? It certainly seems to have. I may not have much experience with this, but I know that were I and my chocobo to be separated, I wouldn't like it. Not one bit. I don't believe giving up is the solution. Kupo. Verily, I myself of Ishgardian nobility and can thus speak from a place of authority. Each of our houses has its own traditions. It is our titles that connect us, not our principles. Before making your decision, seek the counsel of your beloved and learn what his family values. I could not agree more. After all, it is doubts you harbor, not a lack of affection. If you believe his heart to be yours entire, then trust that he will listen to your troubles, that you and he can solve them together. Why not send one more letter? Explain what it is that vexes you. Yes, I see your point. It's unfair of me to hide my feelings like this. He's owed my honesty. But how does one even write such a letter? I wouldn't know where to begin. Perhaps you should explain your apprehension about fulfilling your duties as wife to a man of a great house. Make it clear that should you decide to join his social milieu, you will require time to study, learn, and train before you are comfortable. A word of warning, though. To compromise the very woman you are in order to bend to the rigors of nobility may leave you jaded, haggard, and altogether infuriated. Thus, I suggest you first inquire as to whether his family is capable of accepting you as you are. Why not simply write down all your worries? I don't fancy myself a poet of passion, or what have you, but there's something to be said for getting everything out in the open. All of these ideas have a great deal of merit, and each should be given due consideration. Alaric, what say you? Which of these notions has struck a chord with you? Tell him exactly what concerns you. Thank you for your insight, everyone. I believe I know what I must do now. Then let us fetch you parchment, quill, and ink. Fortunate that you have us, for we emissaries are never far from instruments of the post. Why, I shall even provide you with Valentine's Day themed stationery. There, it's done. Now all that's left is for him to read it. My darling is likely in the gentry's ward. I know he enjoys sitting in solitude on a bench not far from the gates. He'll be there, like as not. Then that's where we shall try first. We will be back with his response as soon as we are able. Tally-ho, bird. Love's work awaits. Oh dear, I'm so fidgety. I just can't sit still for nerves. No, I can't take this any longer. I refuse to stand idly by while my future is decided without me. That does it. I'm going to Gentry's ward this instant. Oh, Lucy, you can't. And she's gone. Our duty as emissaries of love and affection demands we see that the lovelorn lasts through this trying time. I shall meet you at the gates of the Gentry's ward. I'm sorry to have run off again like that, but I just couldn't wait around twiddling my thumbs another moment more. We have for you a letter from one Miss Lucy herself, Kupo. A missive from my love. Thank you kindly, Post Moogles. Perhaps it's not my place, but if I may. LOC thinks a great deal of you. We watched her as she wrote that letter you now hold, and we could see plain as day how much she cares for you. If there's love to be found in this world, it's there, in every word she has put to that page. The heart and its intricacies aren't my forte, I admit, but if you've even half as much affection for her as she has for you, then what you two share is something wondrous. I only hope you can both weather whatever troubles come your way. The heart isn't my forte indeed. For one who claims such a thing, you show remarkably perspicacity in the matter. You are quite changed from the Moogle I once knew. Color me impressed, Kupo. You are good to concern yourself over my and Lucy's affair. Your kindness does you a good deal of credit. I shall pen my response this instant. Can I trust that you will deliver it straight to her once I've finished? We serve at your pleasure. Your trust is not misplaced in us, good sir. Did you hear that? He's going to reply. We should return to Miokeru's amphitheater at once. I don't want to be here when he's sent our post-Moogle friends all the way back there. Yes, it would be rather awkward were his letter to have no recipient. Let us explain the situation to Lisette and wait for Pukti and Kupka's delivery. Kupka's. Our eminent emissary of adoration and affection is with us once more, and now that we are assembled, we've only to wait for the custodians of Izolmil's reply. I feel sick to my stomach. What if I've angered him? What if he calls off the whole engagement? We have returned, and with your beloved's painstakingly penned post and paw. Pukti Pico, I was drawn to your advice in particular. I wrote down all my worries, concerns, and questions in a clear and concise fashion, and he responded with, well, with some confusion it seems, although now, at least he's aware of what troubles me, and for that he says he is grateful. He's very sweet here, you see. He tells me that together we will go down this list of mine and solve one problem at a time, where we live and how will be up to us to decide, not his family. I have come to ensure my letter has reached you, and see if you have yet read it. After all, you did the same for me. It would be unkind to not return the favor, no? Oh gods, how embarrassing. You caught me spying on you, didn't you? You're embarrassed for what? Pray. I found it endearing, my darling. Ah, those companies of yours. Did they assist you in writing to me? Then we are in your debt. Alosi, my love, what say you to tea at the Carlin Canopy? There we can discuss our future, a conversation which is long overdue, I should think. Thank you, my friends. Where would I be without your help? And I promise yours will be the first invitation we post once we've settled on a day. Goodness gracious me, do my eyes deceive me? Pucti Pico, your palm. Why, it's adopted the very shape of the season, and is lovely beyond compare, Kupo, and 'tis much of a muchness with mine, or so I flatter myself to think. I can't explain it, but seeing those two together brought a flutter to my chest, a spring into my wings, and the next thing I knew, my palm began to tingle in the most peculiar of ways. It is just such a marvelous thing to know that we had a hand in ushering Ozamil and Ilos's story into its next chapter, and to think it was all performed strictly through the art of the post. Affectionate missives are more than just the silly folderol I assume them to be. I see now that they show what's in our hearts like nothing else can, and we emissaries are their trusted custodians. That we are, Pucti. Only do remember that letters require more than just love. They are also indeed in need of names and addresses. And speaking of names, perhaps you might bestow one upon a certain chocobo. Think of it as a show of not only kindness, but of love too. A show of love, you say? I suppose you're right. I was never able to recall the names given by my Moogle acquaintances, but I bet I could arrive at something that actually sticks. I will give it some thought. Make sure I've done this bird justice. My once foolish fledgling has wings of her own at last. How proud I am to see you soar. You are a credit to the emissaries of ardor and affection with your heart-shaped palm. It is my most sincere honor to have you among our ranks, and I pray that you will continue this most revered work. I would love nothing more, Kupo. What joy to be blessed with so many couriers, and in this season of sublimity no less. 'Tis heartening indeed to watch our numbers grow and grow, for with so many we can ensure that ardor and affection accompany all the fair creatures of this realm where their journeys take them. Alright. Got the barding chocobo. Alright, and then we can also do better letters. Pucti Pico appears to be beset with troubles. Elric, I knew you would come. You have a marvelously convenient talent for appearing when we're in need, don't you? Anywho, troubles afoot. Word has spread of our previous endeavors, which under normal circumstances would be cause for celebration, but not so today. We've been inundated with letters from across the realm, treating our aid with all manner of vexations. Our fellows have left me here alone to field these pleas, but I can't see to all these by myself. Please, won't you assist me in bringing secure to the hearts of the weary? I've made a tidy little list of those who have written to us. No need to see to their troubles in any particular order, mind you. Just try not to let a request slip through the cracks, yes? Let's do the Nameless Adventurer. We of the Adventurers Guild seek to post a letter to our guildmaster, Mother Mule. Though we're yet an untrained and unblooded passel of adventurers, it still grieves us tremendously to admit that we sought her aid in a task we bungled not several nights gone. We fear this blunder of ours will lower us in her estimation so abominably that we may never work again. We are determined to set all this to rights, but the question is how. What words will move Mother Mule so that she will not see us as the lumbering dolts who stepped in it. Oh, that is a pickle. Count yourself lucky, though, for you're in the presence of a renowned adventurer, one who most assuredly understands well the problem you face. So, Alaric, what advice can you impart to our flustered friends? Show contrition and gratitude in equal measure. Tell her, bearing the scaff, let's go in gratitude with equal measure. And what would convince this Mother Meon to provide them with more work? Failure is novice's best learning tool. Here, 'tis writ at last. Then I shall see to its safe and expedient delivery. Pardon my tardiness. Meon was kind enough to set out tea for me, and I could hardly refuse such an offer. It warmed my heart to see such munificence, and now that I reflect on it, such hospitality too is one form of love, isn't it? But I digress. What does Meon write? What a relief it is to read this. She has seen how steadfast our convictions to the guild are, by hook or by crook. We shall not disappoint her. I, for one, am afire with determination. Your advice has rung true indeed. Thank you for your wisdom. We shan't forget it. Your assistance has proving positively indispensable, Alaric. If you've the time and inclination, do come by again. There's always more to be done after all. Alright, got the prismatic hearts. And I believe there's a vendor over here that we can buy something for 6,000. Okay, we can also buy the prismatic hearts. We'll buy the mobile too, which if you're not familiar what that looks like, there it is. All right, and there's, I guess, several other scenarios that you can do for those that wish to send letters or and express themselves for Valentine's Day. So there's several quests that you can do for the seasonal event here, and I will see you next time on the next playthrough.